Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1395, 1395, just 5 away from 1400. It's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. Today, Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Today we get to the segment News Random and find out what's going on in the world. And
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I did some vacuuming yesterday. I did some vigorously vacuuming.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And now my right shoulder is aching. Don't you hate that sensation? It's really causing me all kinds of consternation, and I don't know why I have to sing about it, but I guess that I had to. And your name is...
It makes me mildly nauseous,
Frank,
to think that we might have had some impact.
Hi, Frank.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Frank is a great name, frankly. We had a Squeeze album named Frank.
Mike's
Did you know that?
Daily
Do you know who Squeeze is?
Podcast.
Tempted by the fruit of another. Yeah. So I thought I would sing to you about that and also tell you about, I saw so many YouTube videos yesterday. People were just showing me, it's becoming more and more gal in the world, and that is to show people your YouTube video of something. Hey, look who just walked in. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How you doing? It's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what. What? I don't understand YouTube. I mean, it's like something on the internet, and I don't understand that either. Well, Disgruntled Fiddle Player, look who else walked in.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh, boy. Here's a root beer.
Thank you. You know, what we have, though, is a world where people are constantly showing each other stuff. Like, for example, this guy that I work... Scary guy. He loves Prodigy, or he knows about Prodigy, or we were discussing the making of a Prodigy song, and they sample a lot in their music, and just amazing all the stuff that they do. And this video reconstructs one of the songs from the 90s that they had, and it just amazes me. Watching this video, I was just amazed. And
here's today's podcast picture.
Today's podcast picture is somebody else who just walked into Café Anyway. Hello, Michael Master, it's Madame Rootabega, and I love the YouTube. I have uploaded so many YouTube videos. Oh, you have? What do you talk about? Well, I look at the camera and I go, "Hi guys, it is me, Madame Rootabega." Oh. And that's the end of the video? Yes, that's the end of the video. Do you even know what YouTube is? It's like an instrument that you play in a marching band. We are, I think, completely on a different subject, but thanks for playing. You know, we had yesterday all these YouTube videos that I was being shown. The other one was of a Canadian morning show. And you know how they have the cooks come in and show you, oh, this is how you make whatever. Well, a lady was trying to make, I think it was artichoke casserole, and apparently it tasted horrible, and the three hosts of the show were gagging. Ugh. Another Canadian thing I saw on YouTube was the band Rush. Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, Neil Peart. They are now, I think, in their 60s, and they're having dinner at this nice Canadian restaurant, kind of looks like a lodge, and they are eating all kinds of meat and drinking all kinds of wine and just telling the goofiest inside jokes with each other. It's actually, if you're a fan of Rush, it's funny. If you're not, you'll just go, who are these old geezers? What are they yip-yapping about? Kind of like if you're listening to the show right now. But Yeah, it's interesting. I had listened to a lot of Rush in my teens, and on up, get on up. And I have to say it was amusing. I did go see Rush twice in concert, so I enjoyed this video. But and then there was a clip I saw on YouTube from I Love You Man that I guess didn't make it into the movie, with Paul Rudd and Jason Segel, and then they're like backstage eating Rush's food at a Rush concert, and then Rush walks in on them, the actual guys, and they're talking to, and they're trying to act, you know, and rock musicians usually can't act unless you're Jared Leto. You're the beautiful Jared Leto. Hey, I watched 2 episodes of My So-Called Life, the TV show that launched Claire Danes, and then there was the Romeo and Juliet movie. But that's neither here nor there, over there or behind you or what. You just had a prominent advertiser on your radio station pull all of his ads because you decided to go off on him live on the radio? What? It's not that either. No, this is a segment called News Random that we're going to get to, and you can hear all the past segments, all the past shows, see all the past podcast pictures at mikesdailypodcast.com. By the way, that really did happen. I've witnessed a few times in radio people doing something stupid like annoying their advertisers to the fact that they pull their ads and thus pull money out of the radio station. Those people are usually what we call shortly thereafter unemployed, but I don't think that's going to happen in this case. At any rate, that happened at the radio station I was at. And, well, let's say the story is still unfolding. But yes, Mike'sDailyPodcast.com is where you can go to listen to past shows, of course, and to help out the show through the Amazon link. Click on that Amazon link, buy whatever it is you're going to buy, and that helps us out. There's also a PayPal, too, and you can become an inglorious Mike's Daily Podcaster if you help us out through the PayPal. You'll get a special greeting from all the Café Anyway characters. See all that at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com, and now the segment, News Random.
News Random.
Brewmaster.
Sad news. I heard about John McCain, Senator John McCain from Arizona. He's been diagnosed with brain cancer. The tumor was discovered, he had that surgery done to remove a blood clot from above his left eye. It was just a minor procedure last week, but the hospital said in a statement, subsequent tissue pathology revealed that a primary brain tumor known as glioblastoma was also associated with the blood clot. The senator and his family are reviewing further treatment options. Treatment options may include a combination of chemotherapy and radiation. John McCain. I didn't vote for him in 2008, but there's something about him I like. Sometimes I can actually almost agree with him. But the Senator Republican leaders are desperately searching for the 50 votes they need to open a debate on Obamacare, repeal and replace legislation. After yesterday's scolding at the White House from Trump, leaders have reopened negotiations on their previous bill, reversing courses from their plans to move to a vote on a straight repeal of Obamacare. But it's not clear if they will have any more luck this time in corralling enough centrist and conservative Republicans to move the bill forward. You may recall 8 years ago when Obama, even though he had a majority of Democrats in Congress, he still couldn't get things passed because there were the blue dog Democrats who leaned slightly to the right that were disagreeing with him on every level. This is what Trump's experiencing now. Mitch McConnell needs to win 50 votes to proceed and has faced opposition from conservatives who believe the previous bill kept too much of Obamacare, and then the centrists who think it would leave too many people without affordable insurance. GOP leaders haven't closed the door on bringing a straight repeal of Obamacare with a 2-year delay to the floor, but Trump, who has given mixed messages on whether he wants to just repeal or simultaneously repeal and replace Obamacare on Wednesday told Republican senators at a White House lunch that repealing Obamacare without a replacement was not an option. Talking slow. Helicopters. Though there's a helicopter that was carrying an executive made an emergency ocean landing. The son of World Wrestling Entertainment CEO Vince McMahon. The son of Vince McMahon. And I think they're like really tight with the Trump family. Made an emergency landing yesterday in the ocean off New York, and neither the pilot nor passenger were hurt. Shane McMahon was the passenger in the helicopter that came down in the Atlantic Ocean just off of Long Island's Gilgo Beach. Yesterday morning, the red aircraft could be seen bobbing on its bright yellow pontoons as small boats circled about a half mile south of the beach. And the U.S. has ended a 4-month ban on passengers carrying laptops on board U.S.-bound flights from certain airports in the Middle East and North Africa, bringing to an end one of the most controversial travel restrictions imposed by Trump's administration. The international airport in, this is Riyadh's King Khalid International Airport was the last of 10 airports to be exempted from the ban. Middle East carriers have blamed Trump's travel restrictions, which include banning citizens of some Muslim-majority countries from visiting the U.S., for a downturn in demand on U.S. routes. In March, the U.S. banned large electronics and cabins on flights from 10 airports in the Middle East and North Africa over concerns that explosives could be concealed in the devices taken on board aircraft. The ban has been lifted on the 9 airlines affected, including Turkish Airlines, Qatar Airways, or Qatar, Kuwait Airways, Egypt Air, and a couple other ones. A ban on citizens of 6 Muslim-majority countries remains in place, though has been limited after several U.S. court hearings challenged the restrictions. Now, finally, Samsung. I was talking about the Bixby thing that they have, that if you ever use your Siri on your Apple, Samsung has this thing called Bixby that they're rolling out. But they are rumored to be making its own smart speaker that will be powered by the Bixby Smart Assistant. However, it looks like the South Korea company has doubts on the marketability of such a device, sort of like what Echo, the Amazon Echo or Alexis is. Samsung currently does not view AI speakers as marketable, as the global market is already dominated by unbeatable Amazon and the Korean market is too small to make profits. More importantly, said this anonymous source, that Samsung cannot afford to focus on the uncertain market, as most of its AI specialists, whose number is much less than that of the US tech giants, are currently going all out to develop the Bixby version in English. So the whole tech, every company now has to have a tech department. And those tech departments are always in the big cities like San Francisco, Boston, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago. And it's interesting that I was listening to a podcast, To The Point, today, not with Warren Olney. He's got a replacement who has I think he's got an Armenian accent. But he was talking to several people. And that show, excuse me, I have a little bit of a cough that was caused by my smoothie.
Excuse me!
My smoothie has flaxseed in it. Flaxseed is supposed to help you attain good fats that your body needs. But in this podcast, he talks to several people. He has all these experts on. I don't know how he gets them all. Warren Olney and now this guest host, I don't know who he is. But he was talking talking to several people who confirmed that, yes, like Caterpillar has a huge tech department now in Chicago. McDonald's has even though Caterpillar still makes all their stuff in Peoria, Illinois, they've got a lot of their big CEOs and everybody are in the city of Chicago. And McDonald's has moved a huge chunk of their company to Chicago. And they at first had a digital department in Chicago. And now they're moving everybody else there to Chicago from where the smaller town that they were originally based. And the fact is that a lot of these companies, they have to develop their digital side. They've seen what Amazon's done, what Google's done, and they've got to develop it. And they also say that to attract the talent that can do all the digital stuff, they got to put them in the cities, which to me, I'm thinking, well, hey, Greta Hausman looks beautiful again on C-SPAN, and that what's going to happen when these cities, Chicago, San Francisco already, the public transportation is nuts. It's nuts, I tell you, it's nuts. And people can't get in to the city. Like, what happens if BART breaks down? You can't drive into the city. You can't take Uber to get into the city because the traffic is too ridiculous.
He's nuts! They're nuts! They know nothing!
It's going to be impossible to get into the cities. I don't know. This reasoning is ridiculous. I think at some point, these big companies are going to move out of the city because they're going to realize, yeah, we can attract top talent, but we can't get them in to the office to do their top talent type stuff. Maybe you go to somewhere like a suburb of San Francisco, or go to Oakland or something like that instead of actually going to, or Castro Valley. As we go outside of Café Anyway, located somewhere in Castro Valley, Mont, the radio station that I work for that services San Francisco and the Bay Area is out of Fremont, California. It's not in San Francisco, and to that I say thank God, because I would hate to commute into San Francisco every day. I would do it, but it's hard work. Next show, it is going to be the wonderful Madame Rootabega will be back. Michael Master, I'm uploading a YouTube video right now, see? No, you're not. You're petting a cat. Meow. Hi, cat. That cat has beautiful eyes. You know, next show we'll have Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley, so come back for that. It'll be vigorous.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!